Brinkley's Book Nook. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Complete Peanuts series by Charles Schulz. I only have 2, but there are over a dozen more and I hope to get them all. I like this series because it makes me laugh, but I also like this particular book because it has Charles Schulz's last comic strip in it, and I'm going to read it to you. Dear friends, I have been fortunate to draw Charlie Brown and his friends for almost 50 years. It has been the fulfillment of my childhood ambition. Unfortunately, I am no longer able to maintain the schedule demanded by a daily comic strip. Therefore, I am announcing my retirement. I have been grateful over the years for the loyalty of our editors and the wonderful support and love expressed to me by fans of the comic strip. Charlie Brown, Snoopy, Linus, Lucy, how can I ever forget them? Charles Schulz died on the evening of February 12, 2000, mere hours before his final Peanut strip ran the following day in over 2,600 newspapers in 75 countries and was read by over 350 million people. This is what it looked like. And that's basically why I like that book. Next, I'm going to be reviewing William Joyce's Ollie's Odyssey. He also wrote the Rise of the Guardians series, and I love Ollie's Odyssey so much that I put it on my birthday list. This is a magical story about inanimate objects, and a stuffed animal comes to life and has to rescue his little boy. As you can see, there is plenty of space between the lines and lots of pictures, which makes it an easy read, but it is also very in-depth. I strongly suggest, if you get a chance, run to your local library and check Ollie's Odyssey out. Next, I will be reviewing Ben Yokoyama and the Cookie of Doom by Swanson and Bear. This book has pictures on every page, which make it an easy read. It is about this little boy and his fortune cookie, which says, live every day as if it's your last. I got halfway through this book and I didn't like it, so I put it down. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't pick it up. It just wasn't my type, but it might be yours. I'm halfway through this book called The Bear House, and I will be reviewing it next week along with whatever else I get read. Now I will read you a Grimm's fairy tale. The Wedding of Mrs. Fox. First story. There was once on a time an old fox with 9 tails who believed that his wife was not faithful to him and wished to try her. He stretched himself out under the bench, did not move a limb, and behaved as if he were stone dead. Mrs. Fox went up to her room, shut herself in, and her maid, Miss Cat, sat by the fire and did the cooking. When it became known that the old fox was dead, wooers presented themselves. The maid heard someone standing at the house door knocking. She went and opened it, and it was a young fox who said, "What may you be about, Miss Cat? Do you sleep or do you wake?" She answered, "I am not sleeping, I am waking. Wouldst thou know what I am making? I am boiling warm beer with butter so nice. Will the gentleman enter and drink some likewise?" "No, thank you, miss," said the fox. "What is Mrs. Fox doing?" The maid replied, "She sits all alone and makes her moan, weeping her little eyes quite red, because old Mr. Fox is dead. Do just tell her, miss, that a young fox is here who would like to woo her." "Certainly, young sir." The cat goes up the stairs, trip, trap. The door she knocks at, tap, tap, tap. "Mistress Fox, are you inside?" "Oh, yes, my little cat," she cried. "A wooer, he stands at the door out there. Tell me what he is like, my dear. But has he 9 as beautiful tails as the late Mr. Fox?" "Oh, no," answered the cat. "He has only 1. "Then I will not have him." Miss Cat went downstairs and sent the wooer away. Soon afterwards there was another knock, and another fox was at the door who wished to woo Miss Fox. He had 2 tails. But he did not fare better than the first. After this, still more came, each with one tail more than the other, but they were all turned away, until at last one came who had 9 tails, like old Mr. Fox. When the widow heard that, she said joyfully to the cat, "Now open the gates and doors all wide, and carry old Mr. Fox outside." Just as the wedding was going to be solemnized, old Mr. Fox stirred under the bench and cajoled all the rabble and drove them and Mrs. Fox out of the house. Second story. When old Mr. Fox was dead, the wolf came as a wooer and knocked at the door, and the cat, who was servant to Miss Fox, opened it for him. The wolf greeted her and said, "Good day, Mrs. Cat of Cur Hewitt. Well, how comes it that alone you sit? What are you making good?" The cat replied, "In milk I'm breaking bread so sweet. Will the gentleman please come in and eat?" "No, thank you, Mrs. Cat," answered the wolf. "Is Mrs. Fox not at home?" The cat said, "She sits upstairs in her room, bewailing her sorrowful doom, bewailing her trouble so sore, for old Mr. Fox is no more." The wolf answered, "If she's in want of a husband now, then will it please her to step below?" The cat runs quickly up the stairs and lets her tail fly here and there, until she comes to the parlor door with her 5 gold rings at the door. She knocks. "Are you within, good Mistress Fox? If you're in want of a husband now, then will it please you to step below?" Mrs. Fox asked, "Has the gentleman red stockings on, and has he a pointed mouth?" "No," answered the cat. "Then he won't do for me." When the wolf was gone, came a dog, a stag, a hare, a bear, a lion, and all the beasts of the forest, one after the other. But one of the good points which old Mr. Fox had possessed was always lacking, and the cat had continuously to send the wooers away. At length came a young fox. Then Mrs. Fox said, "Has the gentleman red stockings on, and has he a little pointed mouth?" "Yes," said the cat, "he has." "Then let him come upstairs," said Mrs. Fox, and ordered the servant to prepare the wedding feast. "Sweep me the room as clean as you can, up with the window, clean out my old man, for many a fine fat mouse he brought, yet of his wife he never thought, but ate up every one he caught." Then the wedding was solemnized with young Mr. Fox, and there was much rejoicing and dancing, and if they have not left off, they are dancing still.